Go. Hi, everybody. So, Mia and I are here together to talk about an experience that we had together and kind of expand on that when it comes to conscious business. So, Mia is an organizer of events that I think they're like a prequel to what we're going to experience in the future. So, tell us about Mercado Sagrado.
Thanks. Thanks,
Thank
honey.
you. Hi.
Um, Hi. I would love to. Yeah. So I started this, it's so wild, 10 years ago now. And 2014 was our first event in October in Topanga Canyon, and it was with a girlfriend. For the year before, almost entirely, I'd been living in New Mexico in Taos off the grid. In an Earthship, and then found my way back to Topanga. And Carly, she had also kind of gone pretty far out, living off the grid and Joshua Tree. So then we came back to this nature location that was close to the city, but still really rural and magical. And we wanted to get people together outside. We wanted to gather outdoors in natural sanctuaries, and we wanted to just kind of celebrate and support everything that we loved. And we're both Geminis, we're both creatives. I worked in as a professional photographer, and I showed my art in galleries, and I also worked in some high-end galleries in New York City and had that kind of experience. And so there was a lot that we kind of wanted to pour into this. And we wanted, and when I think about now, kind of like how we were framing everything, it was with the curation of these events. It was kind of like, I call it the ancient and the emergent. So kind of taking like what kind of had been forgotten or maybe even suppressed, and then kind of what we're moving into. So um in the beginning, we just wanted to share what our friends were making, get artists together, creators, and it was all people that were creating things in alignment with the earth. So kind of conscious creators, maybe somebody dyeing fabric with natural plant dyes and making silk clothing. Everything is very harmonious in that way. And we wanted to serve the food that we eat at home, which was organic, and just really kind of tuning in to um wanting to support everything that was wholesome in the world, because I was very aware of the inversion that we've been through, and that everything being promoted and everything that we thought of at that point is kind of cool in culture was actually like terrible for us. Like as a photographer, kind of most of my friends that I came up with were starting to get these really amazing jobs, but the amazing jobs, kind of what you were getting pointed to, were like pharmaceutical jobs or Coca-Cola jobs, or even if it was high fashion, it was yucky companies. And I just felt it was so confusing to me, because obviously I didn't feel good about supporting that, but I loved making art and I loved creating beauty. So for me, a part of it was also like, okay, how can I use that creative energy um for the good instead? Because I want to
Mhm.
use it, but I would much rather be promoting just people doing good things for the planet, for themselves, for the community, for the earth. And so it was all about kind of local, but even local as global, because some of the people that we collaborated with were coming from other countries. So it became this like really beautiful community of like-minded individuals. And especially at the beginning, 10 years ago, there weren't really it was doing something kind of different, because the holistic and the esoteric art stuff wasn't mixed in with the makers yet. People didn't really know about aura photography or much about that kind of stuff. It was still pretty fringe, and I was really into all that, but I couldn't, like when I lived in in New York, I can remember going to visit one of the 13 crystal skulls. So I went to this little gathering at someone's home and to do a meditation with this crystal skull. And I couldn't get any of my friends to go with me because they just thought it was like hokey. And I was the youngest person there. But of course, I love all that stuff. So I wanted to also just bring those kind of things into kind of for a new audience, for my friends to get excited about. So kind of in a
Mhm.
sense, like it was like a rebranding in a way. But yeah, just in a celebratory
Yeah.
way. So I mean, I feel like I'm rambling now, but yeah, there's so many kind of aspects to it, but it just started out as like a backyard gathering, but it really did pretty well. The first one we had like 1,000 people over the weekend, and it was a total it just was like the right moment and getting people together that I connected on Instagram, but not in real life yet. So many new relationships came out of that, so many new partnerships, businesses. It was really like a beautiful just kind of explosion of creativity and people who wanted to create and live in like a like-minded way, just more in alignment with the earth and in a like a more holistic minded way.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, and it's kind of the way that I see everything happening in the future. So,
Mhm.
like, Mia had music going on when I was there. We had our little conversation the night before about hidden history. And then, but there was music, there was organic food, there was, I'm going to show you some of the products. So, there was this great coffee. It's called Zen Bunny. The most amazing perfume in the world.
Sense of
Uh,
awe.
yeah, sense of awe. And I'll put some of this, below. Um, and then I met the guy who I don't think he had a booth there, but I had purchased this in Sedona, Rose Vibes, and it's the best tasting like rose thing that you could put in your hot water to have like a rose tea. It's supposed to help with your hormones. Like there's all these things that people are doing, and usually they're guided by their spirit. So it's a
Yeah.
beautiful, thing to watch. And there were people that were doing psychic readings, there was health people, there were, people that were making musical instruments, and it was so much fun. And that's how I see the future is that kind of thing, and locally for
Yeah,
everybody.
that was like the vision, like okay, so seeing that everything has been, and we kind of have been pushed into this inversion where everything that they said was good for us was bad for us. It's like, well, what's actually wholesome? And then we look to curate it in support of all those things so that we can, for example, there's a shoemaker and they make good earth sandals. They make these beautiful, simple, sustainable leather shoes, and they're earthing shoes, and they're beautiful and
Mhm.
they're affordable. So like I would much rather go buy that, buy shoes for my friends than spend money on this fast fashion stuff from China. And there's essentially like for everything that we can think of, there's something that either, this community we've has been reinventing or that's still available for us to reinvent. It's like we need to do a redo of pretty much everything. And so we just wanted to include all the beautiful things, and then also like part of it has been educating people too, because we got so used to this plastic stuff and this stuff getting shipped from far away that we also forgot the true value of these things, and that we
Mhm.
could purchase something that maybe we would keep forever instead of something that's disposable. So like one of the vendors is his name is Everett Noel, and when he first showed his work at Mercado Sagrado, he was 21 years old, and he had learned, I think, from his father to make these amazing knives. So all these different kinds of nice, beautiful kitchen knives. I mean, these are things that you could purchase and then, keep their heirlooms, keep and hand them down to
Yeah.
your children. So that's kind of the idea with it. Like, let's opt out of this yucky system of kind of like where we're just creating more trash and get these things from people who are craftsmen, and then it honors them. It's putting back money into our communities. And they're beautiful. Everything is beautiful. Like I have the flute. Honey, you got one of these. This is the one
Yeah.
I've had for a few years from Guillermo. He, this is from his ancestry that he learned how to make these beautiful Native American flutes. There's another guy who's been showing at Mercado Sagrada since the beginning, who is just a dear friend I adore. His name is John Dennis, and his company is called Sam Roberts. He named it after his son, and he makes these amazing hats. He will go and find vintage hats that are kind of messed up, and he takes them and he goes into the river, and that's his, his workspace in the summer. He's like, yeah, just hang out by the river, and he reshapes them all. And then him and his very small team, I think he has like one or two people that help him, 1 or 2 days a week, and they, sew these, this one's a snake, they sew these
Wow.
things in there. So,
Yeah.
and he was like you said, honey, it's like for a lot of the people involved, it's, you know, getting to the point of doing this was very transformational. Most of them went through dark night of the soul. I know John, the hat maker, did. He was, I think, just unhappy and feeling not good about his life. He had gotten, he was doing real estate because that's what his family did and expected him to do. So it was a really big jump for him to like break away from the mold and from the family and go his own way. And, in the beginning, it just looks weird. Like they're, your family's, what are you doing? You're like, I'm just going to go make these hats in the river. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. A lot of
Yeah.
the things people are doing, it's super unconventional. And if nobody's done it yet, there's no path. So you're kind of having to really trust your own guidance. But I've seen time and time again with so many of this community just like follow their heart and then like thrive. It's
Mhm.
so inspiring, all of their stories.
Yeah. It really is. And we do have to go through an emotional transformation to let go
Mhm.
of old constructs. And we're doing that as a collective right now. So it's an amazing time to start your own business or your own project and follow your passion. What is your passion? Some of us are doing stuff online. Like I'm doing stuff online where I'm helping heal people, helping people let go of old programming. And Mia's doing stuff in person, and she may start doing some stuff online. Like
And
we're really doing things to create new.
and hopefully we're gonna get you in person, honey, at our next event too, or one of the next ones. Yeah,
Yes.
like ideas to like be able to do this in person and then do it online and just have this connect because it helps so much to like be connected to other people holding that same
Mhm.
frequency and supporting because then it makes you feel like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can learn the pieces that maybe you don't know yet, too. So the pieces to attract, people to your stuff. Like this person that is local, she has an amazing shop, and I will probably see if I can interview her later, but she's an herbalist and she does makes all these amazing products. And she's online, but I wonder how much online presence is she getting? And I hope it's big, but I don't know if it is, but she's doing well locally. So, how big do you want to make it? Because you can scale whatever you're doing to, you don't want to be crazy about it because then you may lose the plot a little bit, but you can scale things and make them, pretty large if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options. And I think for that, it's really important to think about what you want your day to day be like, how you want your life to feel, because
Mhm.
there is a sweet spot of doing something small that you can do everything yourself. Maybe you want to do that, but that can get overwhelming. So how to just remember how to get support to do that and to really kind of keep in mind, yeah, just how much energy you want to be putting into it. And there's a lot of minutia, but you can kind of do whatever you want with it. And I think that if you just put it out there, people are going to find you. I mean, there have been some of the artists that work with us. I remember in Causa, they're amazing. They're this very sweet Brazilian couple. They're Santo Daime, and I think I connected with them when they maybe had less than 100 followers on Instagram, and they just launched, and it was just such a good match. I mean, we're still good friends. I adore them, and they started doing the event and other things. And I mean, just to see them how much they've grown in the last, I guess, a few years now. I mean, they've turned it into like a very pretty big company, but still independent. Still they're still running
Mhm.
the show, and they feel good about it. And they're really cool to talk about too because they're very unique. They have a hybrid of a nonprofit and a for-profit, and they go and work with the indigenous in Brazil to make certain things. So they're supporting them and selling their goods and paying them a fee that is, you know, is is
There.
is is fair, is good for them. And then it's
Mhm.
also funding the business. And then they can share more of their message or do events with them if they ever want to. You know, it's really special what they're doing. So, and there's somebody that works with something, you know, Palo Santo and things like that. And they're making sure that they do it holistically, in
Mhm.
alignment. So yeah, there's just like so many, so many cool things out there.
Yeah, I really love it. And it makes you excited to buy something
Yeah.
and you value it more. It's going to last longer in your house. You're going to take care of it, whatever it is. And if it's food, then you're going to, buy more of it and you're going to feel the difference in your body.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like corporate stuff is in trouble right now, I will just say. And there's a big shift that's about to happen. And it's kind of, we're in the middle of it now because it's happening now. And
Mhm.
small business and projects that people do for humanity are going to be the future. We're not going to see big, huge shipments of plastic items going all over the place anymore.
Yeah.
We're just not going to see that.
It's so exciting.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's like my vision for so long. It's so exciting to see how much it's transformed in the past decade and how it's just going because 10 years ago, you know, when we started, we wanted to have everything to be consciously minded. And so when we were looking for people making clothing or fashion designers to bring in, there weren't really not that many, you know. But now it's totally transformed. And yeah, sure, the big corporations are trying to greenwash so that they can still be cool, but it's not really working. People will read through it and people would much rather purchase something created by a real human that they can get to know. So it's important to like share about yourselves too if you feel
Mhm.
comfortable if you're doing these because people want to know you. You want, you know, if they're purchasing something like that from somebody, they're thinking about it. It's like wearable art and it's a connection with that person. I mean, my friend Milena Silvano, she makes these beautiful sheepskin. Now she makes pillows and things, but she started out making vests and coats. She's in England and she started using the recycled sheepskins that she could find, and they're art. I mean, they last forever. I have mine, it's hanging on the wall like an art piece, and it's like a piece of art too, you know, it's really special. So there's just that energy to these things too that is so magnetic. So like we're not gonna miss that junk. We're not gonna miss it at all.
No, we won't. We won't care about it at all, I don't think. I
Mm,
feel like everything will be sourced. A lot of your stuff will be sourced locally in the future. So there will be a guy who is like the tomato potato guy, and then the onion guy is going to be next to him. And, it's just going to go on and on and on into the point of there's the person who makes the essential oils for this area.
yeah,
There's the honey person.
yeah.
And I don't feel like it'll be every single day, but it'll probably be several times a week at least that you can go to market.
Yeah, and I live in a so aside from Mercado Sagrado and this thing that we do these pop-ups, I just live in an area that's pretty leading edge, I would say. It's pretty freedom oriented and there's a lot of farmers and people who appreciate their sovereignty and live as such. And so we have a weekly farmers market that's amazing. I mean, I can get raw milk there, I can get all local meats. I can get medicines, I can get some pretty, you know, fringe medicines even that are could be hard to find even online. I mean, it's really amazing. So, and or I get a chiropractic treatment or an energy work or reading. I mean, that all exists just in my neighborhood at our Saturday market. So it's like I know that's not everywhere. It's and I think, you know, because of the what's the Supreme Court really Chevron ruling, right, honey? Like most areas you would kind of need to do like a PMA type market, and people do that here too, to be able to have raw milk and stuff like that. But now with the Chevron ruling and that just being clarified for people that it's unconstitutional to keep us from having food, any kind of food, it's
Yeah.
going to be easier to like have these markets everywhere where we actually can get what we want and we need and what's healthy.
Yeah. I'm so excited about all that. And I think it's going to unfold in such a big way. Like I just feel like we're on the cusp of so much stuff coming in and change happening, and people are going to take advantage of it because they're tired of it. They're tired of it. And I just talked to Lisa today, and she was wearing something amazing, and she's like, I bought this in my local area. It's this
Oh,
beautiful crocheted like shawl, and it's all natural fiber. People are paying attention to that now. Like there's so much that's shifted, and the people individually have shifted, and that happens way before like the collective system shift, but it's happening. So we're seeing a lot of amazing things go on right now, and I'm really excited for small business to thrive because I feel like it was thriving fairly well in the past, and then we had,
yeah.
the lockdowns, and then
Mhm.
now it's going to thrive again, and it's going to be more, it's going to flourish more than ever before.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that too. People are just ready now, and also with everything shifting and the media shifting, there's just so much more support in that way too. So, um it's just very magnetic, you know.
Yeah.
This is what people want now. People are done and they're ready to use their money, their currency for something that's good in the world. So people are asking way more questions about where things come from, and and it's amazing to see. And also just valuing the craftsmanship and valuing what goes into something more too. I think that's so important.
Yeah, and they will have the funds to use for
Right.
really quality goods in the future, and food, and all of it. Whereas in the past, that's really been part of the programming, is
Yeah.
there's not enough, but there will be
Yeah.
plenty.
Yeah, and I want to say that's going to shift so much because part of the reason that we felt like it was right to start what we did in the area we did too is because even though I was living pretty humbly in a beautiful mountain shack, but it was kind of a shack, so a really kind of magical life, but it's a lot of money in that area too. There's a lot of abundance already. And so by starting what we were doing there, I knew that we could affect culture because there are a lot of people that were very involved in media and the film industry and the fashion industry and basically media industries there. And there was also a lot of abundance. So people would come to these events and have the abundance and be really happy to support the artists. So it worked out
Mhm.
really well. And because of that, was able to have a lot of coverage and, places like Vogue magazine or the New York Times and stuff, because if you're doing something like that and it's getting attention, it's like, I kind of can't ignore it. So that was
Right.
really amazing. And I think that that was kind of strategic on our part to help shift that cultural perspective. But the idea was that it spilled out. The idea wasn't just to keep it there for, an elite group. It was like to shift the culture so that it would spill out and everybody would start doing these and it would kind of take over. And that's what's starting, I think, to happen. So, and then with the financial shift, yeah, people are going to have so much more abundance to support. So
Mhm.
it's amazing, it just because I didn't at that point I didn't know, we didn't know it was going to happen. So it's like so fulfilling to see how it's all playing out now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even in my local little town, they have a pretty good sized farmers market on the weekend. And it's a lot of fun. Like people are really attracted to it. You can hardly get a parking space. Like you have to walk quite a ways just to get to the farmers market, and it
Yeah.
takes over the entire park. So really that's the kind of
Yeah.
thing where they'll have buildings for that, you know, and people will have booths that they have just because we're going to want to buy from local people.
And a part of it too is, honey, that like another reason we wanted to do this back then was that it's like what you're saying, there weren't gatherings anymore because in America, if you're in Europe or you're in South America, people might go to the marketplace and it's for everybody. There's music, there's entertainment, you're buying stuff, you're hanging out with the family, you're hanging out with the little kids and the elders. It's all together. There's actually that community. But in America, there was really a big effort to kind of squash that. So we had, if you're going to a church, you had church community, or if you're going to a mall, you have, I guess, I don't feel like that's real community, but it's a social space. But we really lost all of our community spaces. So bringing back these like meeting places, it's not just about commerce. It's also like you're saying, it's like people want to go and hang out. Like it's my social event for the week going to our market. That's where I
Mhm.
see everybody.
Yeah, it's a prereq for communities beginning too, because you're going to meet people, you're going to do things together. And I mean, if you can go to a local's farmer's market now, I would do it,
Yeah. It's
or
so
yeah.
good. It is because it is like
Okay.
that part. I mean, you get all. I mean, I'm very stubborn, and so during COVID, I was like, the two stores closest to me in town were pretty strict and mean about the mask thing, and I didn't want to wear. So I'm like, okay, and I didn't like how they were treating people. So I stopped going there entirely for 3 years. For 3 years, so I got even more just disciplined about making sure I went to the farmers market every week or got in touch with the local ranchers and the farm. Sometimes I would actually go to the chicken farm and get my goods from them directly. I got really, really dialed in. And it was such an amazing experience because now I'm friends with all of those people. And it's just such a good feeling. You have that support system too. If anything did happen, like you're good, everybody, you're dialed in. And I also saved so much money doing that because a lot of these smaller stores are just buying from them and marking it up anyway. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many benefits. I'm such a proponent of that. Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it's farm to table. I mean, that stuff happening is so important for the future. And we probably will pay them more than what they've been asking in the past because we will be so grateful to have the
Yeah.
quality of food. So I'm really excited to see all this stuff unfold.
Yeah. Me
It's gonna
too.
be so good. Yeah.
So
So
good.
thank you so much, Mia. I'm gonna put Mia's information below and then also some of these products information below, everything that I can find, because if you can get a great product from somebody that's awesome that I think it's perfect. So yeah.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you,
also
Mia.
working on, oh, sorry. Yeah, I was
No,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
I'm also working on and I think this came up from a conversation with you, honey. I'm putting together some guides too that would be like downloadable PDFs for like sustainable clothing and different things too. So
Yeah.
I'll share that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fabulous. I think people knowing where to get stuff is really important and kind of knowing that these companies have been vetted. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. This was so
Yes, it's been so fun. All right. Thanks. Thanks everybody for watching, and I hope this inspires you for whatever you're going to be doing in the future. Okay. Bye.